not knowing about how the algorithm works, and my viewership just tanked, right? I was going from 150K, 200K views per video to drop to like 10, 20. I was doing Mobile Legends, Pokemon Unite content at the same time because I can't lose my income, you know, on Mobile Legends side. But Pokemon Unite is a game that I wanted to play. I actually have experienced people try to cancel you when they don't like you. Just very, very horrible viewers will try to cancel you outright because you made a video about a team. The streaming space in Asia is reversed from the West. We come to Twitch and you see the big streamers, they're all PC gaming streamers, right? RL related maybe, but mostly PC gamers. In China, the biggest streamers now are all mobile. In China, the agency works very differently. When they sign with you, they kind of own you in a way. They pay you salary, they get everything. Your income, instead of you getting like, let's say donations, instead of you getting like 100% of the donations, the agency gets 50%. You get 50%.
Welcome to the Becoming a Creator podcast, everyone. I am here with mobile gamer Assassin Dave, who creates content, analysis video guides across a bunch of your favorite mobile games. Glad to have you on the show, Dave.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, first off, we like to start with a couple of rapid fire questions just to kick things off, get you warmed up. The first is, your tag is Assassin Dave, but often it gets shortened to Ask Dave. Did you come up with that, or was that your community, and do you like it?
I started with it. It was just to make it shorter because I find a lot of really successful channels to have short names. As I started playing more and more mobile games, when I get into like tournaments or official invited events, the organizer really want me to have the name as Assassin Dave instead of Ask Dave to avoid confusion. I just didn't want to have a long name tag initially.
They're really funny about that. They're like on broadcast, they got sponsors, like all that jazz. Your favorite way to play mobile games? Is it iPad, iPhone, Android, emulator?
Well, I started on a tablet, but then I switched to mobile. I'm a mobile gaming creator, but also I was playing professionally, competitively. And then when you go to certain like tournaments, they require like uniform devices. I started playing on mobile, and eventually like also mobile, they like to sponsor. But you know, if you play on like tablets, like the big tablet, Samsung, iPad, they never sponsor anyone. So you don't really, you can keep on using them, but you're never going to get sponsored by them.
When I was competing in League of Legends, we would have to play with like if the team was sponsored by like Razer, we would play with Razer as an example.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to play with like a phone that you were like, oh my God, I cannot deal with this format or whatever? You don't have to share specific names, but have you ever experienced that?
For me, it was just the rules like that was given to us. And then we just have to take the rules. Like if you don't take the rules, you can't join a tournament kind of deal, right? I was playing on iPad for a big half of a year, like 7 months, 8 months before I joined my first tournament, you know? So like I was really used to playing on my iPad, but for this tournament, everybody have to use like phone. So I should have to switch. And then after that, I would just get used to it because the next game I got into, the tournaments also require the same format. They have to use phone, and it's all provided by the developer. So that's how I got into actually using the phone to play. Yeah. But yeah, I was playing on iPad initially.
Let's dive a little bit deeper to your streaming and what goes on for you. So you stream daily, I think it's anywhere between 4 to 8 hours a day. You're doing like your daily uploads on your Pokemon YouTube channel, and that's a lot of strategy, guides, or analysis. Are you planning the content for your VOD side before you go into your live and you're trying to record that content in your live stream?
Absolutely. Most of the time I do. For Pokemon Unite, it has been kind of odd because the content cycle is very, I would say, long. Like, because there's no update for like a month and a half, and then boom, an update drop. So with the update drop, like you obviously want to cover everything, right? So I end up uploading like 3 videos, you know, in one day because I also don't want to upload too much, but I want to cover everything. So I end up uploading like patch notes, you know, play tests for the update. All in one day because I want to catch the wave of excitement, right? But then like afterwards, there's no new content. Right now, Pokemon Unite just feels kind of dry where I don't have enough content. But luckily, I've been making content for mobile for so long. So there's all the different angles I can tackle. Like right now, I'm making rank 1 player reviews, right? I go to watch rank 1 player for different Pokemons, and then I record a gameplay, I do an analysis on them. Or review tournaments, right? That's another angle. Or you can just compare different skill sets for different characters. There are different angles to go with, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's getting a little bit of, I'm actually running out of content.
Do you ever have like phrases or jokes that you would script and like prepare for the stream itself? Like, would you ever kind of go into it with that much prep?
I try to, but English is not my first language. Just speaking fluently or saying a joke fluently, it's challenging. It's really hard for me to plan jokes, but I try my best to do it. Because like I watch Doctor Disrespect's streams. Doc does the best. Like I've never seen a streamer put so much effort in production value.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw any of the events that have been happening. They're like kind of Twitch / YouTube, but it was like a poker tournament that Mr. Beast and Ludwig and folks were in. And it's just an example of like this kind of event-based content. It's like the production value just seems to be going kind of up and up and up and up. With putting out so much content all the time across your channels, do you ever deal with burning out?
Like absolutely. It's kind of boring sometimes because like especially when there's no content to make. So Pokemon Unite is a game that I really like. So same as Mobile Legends or Arena of Valor. All those games I played are the games I initially really enjoy. And that's why I want to go in and make content for it. But then when you make content and it becomes your part of your income, then you start having complaints, right? Like, why can we have more frequent updates? But at the same time, you also have to understand this is a platform that's given to you for free. You're using their games to make content. You know, it's not like they're working for you, right? You just leverage the platform to make money. Then you realize, okay, I just have to work at a developer's pace, right? Whatever they want to work at, and then you just work at their pace. Then you get kind of frustrated, right? You don't know what to do. Like sometimes I doubt my decisions, like why am I in this, right? But then at the end of the day, you still have to find a passion back. So like it's a constant struggle for a small genre like Pokemon Unite. There's not too much funding, right? Like it's hard to find an org who want to sponsor the game. For a lot of other games, right? Let's say Supercell's games, there's a big orgs behind it, Tribe and all that, because the games have a lot of traction. It's easy to get big sponsors behind the org for them to sponsor creators. For Pokemon Unite, because there's not so much traction right now, it's hard to get sponsors. And then when it's harder to get sponsors, it's harder to do creative work like RL related content. So it does get a little bit burned out. You don't have a lot of choices.
The niche of kind of those mobile games, I can imagine. Is it any different, like out in whether it's Southeast Asia or Korea? Is there more money in mobile games there than there is out here in the US?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I came from China and then I got an opportunity to go back to China and work for a year. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. I played competitive for about 1.5 to 2 years. And then I get to go back to work with Tencent for about a year. So I got to see like a lot of the culture from Asia, I would say, right? Because actually like streaming in China is so developed. Chinese internet and then international internet are like separated. So it's not connected. You don't get to see the content. You kind of get to see content inside, but you don't want to really understand them because they only speak Chinese. The streaming space in Asia, it was reversed from the West. If you come to Twitch and you see the big streamers, they're all PC gaming streamers, right? RL related maybe, but mostly PC gamers. In China, the biggest streamers now are all mobile. The people who like Dr. Disrespect level, right? And higher, they're all mobile. The people who can give away like 10 iPhones a night, right? Just because, you know, they make more money every night than giving away 10 iPhones. They're all mobiles. But here in the West, people still don't like mobile that much.
You mentioned the industry is flip-flopped, but you also said live streaming is still very developed in China. Is it more developed or is it pretty the same?
More developed. Yeah, I would say China is like 5 to 10 years ahead of everything that West is doing on live streaming.
Do you ever look there for inspiration, just given that you have an ability to understand what's happening there?
Yes, a lot of IRL contents, for example, or just chatting section. In China, like the IRL section is a huge section. It's a real section talking about culture, music, food, right? But mukbang, that's all huge real sections with sponsors, with monies in it. Like literally when I was in China for a year, because me and my teammate went back together, and then obviously the American boy grew up in America, you know, Caucasian dude, very good looking. I'm an Asian dude. So we're in China experiencing, I was introducing him to different food. So there's a culture clash. And then the platform really enjoyed it. They were trying to give us money to have us, you know, stream more mukbang in China. The stream is very developed. In fact, different studios, what they do is they will actually pay people money for them to stream, like a salary. It's a job for you to stream. Well, you have quota, how much like money you make, like donations you get, like all that kind of stuff. Big industry in China to have like studios pay different people to stream. Like in here, you just stream on your own.
So wow, it's like very similar to maybe like Hollywood or something like that.
I don't know how Hollywood works.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit out of my depth in terms of Hollywood too, but I'm just imagining like a similar ecosystem and like development network and like finding talent and scouting for talent on that side. Yeah,
in China, agencies things are huge. And when they sign you, they want you exclusive. Western agencies, because they don't really provide too much values in terms of, they don't pay you money, right? It's mainly like leveraging your channel to find sponsorships and they get a cut of all that, right? In China, the agency works very differently. When they sign with you, they kind of own you in a way. They pay you salary, they get everything. Your income, instead of you getting like, let's say donations, instead of you getting like 100% of the donations, the agency gets 50%. You get 50%.
Yeah, I guess it's challenging is like you're taking a bigger cut, but they may have the infrastructure to help you actually
to help you out. Yeah. And also you might be in the same agency with some bigger creators you want to collab with. And if you're in the same agency, you have the opportunity, right? So
yeah. One of the things that we're talking about is just kind of different platforms. And one of the things really interesting about you is you're live on multiple platforms daily across YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo.
Yeah.
My first question a little bit is like, what is your setup to stream across all the platforms? It just feels like a lot to kind of keep an eye on. Like I get testing that in the bit, but you've made the decision like this is like you're doing this. How do you keep an eye on the different chats and different communities?
I use a website called Restream, and it combines everything. Combines all the chat in one chat. So I'm just reading one chat actually.
Do you feel it's like a distinct community, or is it really just it's my live community no matter where they are?
Yeah, that's how I see it. But then managing many chats is kind of hectic, especially when you want to change the live titles. But I don't find them as hectic as just streaming on YouTube in general. Because streaming on YouTube has a lot of challenges. Like you streaming on any other platform, Trovo, Twitch. Let's say you want to sing a song and you play background music, right? And you just sing them. You're not gonna get copyright striked, right? Like you just like have fun. It's like having fun, having a karaoke. But on YouTube, you cannot do that. If you play background music that's copyrighted, your entire stream is gone. The multi-streaming thing doesn't really bother me as much as like worrying about what I can or cannot stream.
Yeah, it's a good point. At least because it's a similar situation to YouTube where, you know, they're quickly taking down content that gets flagged by their internal systems.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch is frankly just operating in a gray area, and that's why they're getting a lot of heat, right? Is for not taking action. They should be. For new creators that are just starting out, would you think about they should, you know, do one platform over another? Is there anything that you would advise them in helping them figure that out?
I started off very initially on Twitch. I started to migrate to YouTube to start doing multi-stream because Twitch, again, it's all about like discoverability, right? How much viewers you can reach. On Twitch, there's very little mobile viewers, where on YouTube, you got a lot of discoverability. Like your live stream is recommended just as a video would. So like that's something I really like about it. And it is the biggest platform out there. But it just depends on what category you want to get into. Like if you want to get into a category, you really want to just like find the platform that has the most amount of discoverability.
Switching gears a little bit to talking about games. You've hopped around a bunch of different games. And I think earlier you mentioned just you were known for this one game.
Mobile Legends.
And then you kind of switching around. How hard is that when your audience or your community like really expects you to be in one game and then you need to make that switch?
Yeah, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. Like when you switch, the viewership just most viewers don't switch. It's actually surprising. When I joined Mobile Legends, when I did a survey, poll on my streams, majority of the viewers play the Mobile Legends as their first MOBA. And then I switched to a game called Arena Valor. And that game, when I did research, most of the players played that game as the first MOBA. And then when I played Pokemon Unite, I'm talking about all the games I did content for. Pokemon Unite, same thing. All the players play this game as a first MOBA. The original viewers on the other game don't want to switch. They actually just want to stick to one game. When I first made a jump from Mobile Legends to Arena Valor, it was mainly because competitive. Like I said, Mobile Legends didn't offer any tournaments in North America. I actually organized and find sponsor for all the tournaments in the NA. At that time, I didn't see any long-term future for me with ML. So I switched to Arena Valor. I'm not knowing about how the algorithm works. And my viewership just tanked, right? I was going from 150K, 200K views per video to drop to like 10, 20. And the YouTube algorithm does do that to you.
I mean, talking about that, you made a new channel entirely for Pokemon. That must have been a pretty hard decision.
Yes.
To think through and make.
Yeah.
How did you come to that conclusion that that was the right thing to do for you?
Because of all the previous lessons I learned, Mobile Legends to Arena Valor, Mobile Legends to League of Legends Wild Rift, all just killed my viewer base. Why am I killing the algorithm? So I'm just going to start a new channel. Better to not to train the algorithm to send feeds to people who don't want to watch this video. Because I think how it works is if you, let's say you're a Mobile Legend creator, you start making like Arena Valor content, and then YouTube will send this notification to your viewers, but they swipe up. It's like, oh, I'm not going to watch Arena Valor content, right? So they swipe up, and they swipe up a few times. YouTube will no longer send this viewer your
because it's not valuable. It's not valuable. They're like, why would I?
Yeah, exactly. So they optimize for the viewer experience, you know. So which makes sense to the viewer. It's really hard initially when I decided to start a new channel because it's not going to be monetized on YouTube, and you have to get it to monetize. But then also I just want to try something different. So initially for a long period of time, I was doing Mobile Legends, Pokemon Unite content at the same time because I can't lose my income, you know, on Mobile Legends side. But Pokemon Unite is a game that I wanted to play. And
how are you finding that, creating a dedicated channel? Like if you think about the switches you did in the past, whether it was AOV or Wild Rift, now with Pokemon making that switch, what's the difference you've seen with the channel action in the beginning?
I think if you start a new channel and then use your old channel as a saying, hey, by the way, guys, if you want to follow me on Pokemon Unite, you can follow me on this new channel. Then you basically filter out the small percentage of viewers in that Mobile Legends channel that want to watch Pokemon Unite. And then, but if you have like new, fresh viewers and also interested in this game, then like algorithm might push you more on the new channel. So my new channel actually grew really, really fast. You know, I didn't want to switch channels because imagine like switching channel, how much hassle, you know, because my main channel has close to 500,000 subscribers. And then I have to like just kind of stop that channel completely now because it doesn't matter if I post Pokemon United content on the channel, it doesn't even get views, so it doesn't even matter. And I'm thinking about like, do I go back to ML like every day?
Yeah, I mean, when you were switching games, there was a lot of like some negative comments. You know, you made a video why I left, and then you were responding to some of the kind of mean comments.
Yeah.
Were you able to like use that as a positive moment? Like this is an opportunity to make content, or was it just really hard to kind of move through?
I guess that's one of the moment when you realize, oh, I'm actually a professional in this area now. I actually have experienced people try to cancel you when they don't like you. Just very, very horrible viewers will try to cancel you outright because you made a video about a team. Because I analyze tournaments and I'm like outside of SCA, right? And then Mobile Legends happen to have the biggest audience in SCA region. And they have a lot of tournaments, Philippines versus Indonesia, like, you know, different kind of stuff,
There's a lot
right?
of passionate rivalries.
There are a lot of passionate viewers that support their region without reason, right? So I'll make analysis video and I will talk about why this and that, about like this team shouldn't even be in this tournament, or this tournament, why is it organized like this? And I have like very, very solid reasons, not just like saying that in a really bad way, because I don't really care. I'm outside of region, right? I can only be objective. Some fans for some certain teams will get really, really pissed off, and they will get a group of people who try to smash a dislike and mass report my channel. And sometimes when a YouTube channel get mass reported, I think there are some like really negative sides of it, like because I have experienced being like views to drastically drop before with no reason. My live stream viewers was getting like 3.4, 3.7K when I was streaming ML 2 years ago, which is really good growth, you know, 4K live viewers, concurrent live viewers. And then all of a sudden just dropped to under 1,000 and never came back up. That was just at the same time when I made a like critic video regarding the team. Yeah. And I get a massive amount of report. This should be a platform problem, right? If this affects the algorithm, it makes a creator really limit what they can or cannot say.
I don't know how much you know about the League of Legends scene, but there's a caster called Jat, or Joshua Leisman. We had him on the pod and he was talking about the same thing, is because he's a shoutcaster, he inevitably has to say critical things about one of the teams. And he deals with this week in, week out of just this massive hate mob. It's just a part of the job.
Yeah. Now I just get used to it. Just ignore it.
It's interesting because the algorithm is not technically trying to do anything untoward. It's a reflection of what viewers are responding to, right? And that's really what's happening. We're already like a good way through 2022 now. For the rest of the year, what are you excited about?
Right now, obviously, I'm most excited about Pokemon Unite content because I really think this game has a lot of potential. Like, I love the game. That's why I jumped in, and I think it's really unique. I think this game is going to blow up just like Pokemon Go did. And if it did, then that's a really good opportunity for all of us, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, for everyone who's listening, that's one of the challenges is like you can go into a saturated game that has millions and millions and millions of players, but the challenge is it's saturated. So if you go into the smaller game, especially early, it is a smaller audience that's going to be there, but the chance that it takes off, the chance that it gets picked up and you're the front runner in that's the key. It just doesn't always pan out. Dave, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you so much, Snoopy, for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I wanted to just end this with a little bit of context on why we do what we do. We're former content creators ourselves, and we just really want to help as many content creators as we can. That's why we started Pipeline.gg. It's a platform where you can find other like-minded creators and learn from the pros who've already been there. Get step-by-step guidance so you can avoid all the mistakes that we made in the beginning. If you love the episode, there's going to be even more inside of Pipeline. So check it out. Head over to Pipeline.gg.